I think he's absolutely sick of Green Bay, and I really do believe that. But I also want him to actually make it clear what he wants. I had the same issue and the same complaint a little bit with Deshaun Watson early on. It's like, I understand you're upset. Give us some reasons here. Give us what you were expecting to happen. He's been really cryptic with everything he said. Here's what I thought was really interesting, because they talked to Gutekunst, the owner, last night, right? He was the only one to speak on any of this with Green Bay. Here was his quote. Quote, I certainly look back to last year's draft and just kind of maybe some of the communication issues we could have done better. There's no doubt about it. The draft's an interesting thing. It can kind of unfold differently than you think it's going to unfold. It happens pretty fast, but certainly I think looking back on it, sitting where we sit today, there could have been some communication things we did better.
You think?
Yeah, like
Exactly what I said. And then on top of that, I said, really? You're looking back at it and thinking that you didn't communicate better? That's a pure lie. That wasn't on accident. That was on purpose. That was on purpose, and this was on purpose in this draft too. Because is it possible the Packers for the last couple of years have been trying to push Aaron Rodgers out of the mix? Yes, I think it really is. That quote right there did it for me. Jordan Love certainly added to that. They had a backup plan in mind. Now with all this, not getting a receiver, going back and getting defense again for another blatant middle finger, and then coming out and trying to say that, man, looking back, we probably should have talked with our MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback, top 3 quarterback in the league, surefire Hall of Famer, a little bit more about what we should do in the draft next season. Instead, he didn't get any say, or if he did, it went between our ears and we didn't listen, or we acted like we listened and then didn't care afterwards. So the Packers, man, they have not treated him right, plain and simple. And I understand that Aaron Rodgers is not the easiest guy to probably work with or have on your team, especially when he gets upset. But when I saw that, I'm thinking, you guys just really don't care. You don't. You're ready to push him out, and that's fine. You've made that clear. But Aaron Rodgers then needs to take that next solidified step, and if this is true, I don't want him to retire. I don't want him to come out and say that I'm done. I think he still has great years left in him. Go somewhere else, man. Say that you're going to sit out. Take it as far as you possibly can. Refuse to play, because the Green Bay Packers will not just let you sit there. They're going to unload you for as much as they possibly can, because eventually they're going to do it anyways if you keep sitting. So why would they wait? They're not going to prove any more points. There's nothing to prove. By saying what they said right there, that was, look, we're done with them. And there may be stuff we haven't heard of that will come to light at some point about things that have gone down in the background here. But I'm telling you right now, the Packers are finished. And I think Aaron Rodgers, he's finished with Green Bay, but the organization is done with him too, and they may have actually been done first. I'm not saying it was like a surefire thing if this would have happened, but yeah, if they went and got a wide receiver last year, you think we'd still be in this mess?
No.
I mean, I think that would be pretty shocking to think that would be the case for Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty much all you had to do, but again, they made it clear at that point, okay, that's step one of us saying we are done. We're cutting ties. We don't want you here anymore. Aaron Rodgers comes back in revenge mode, goes MVP on everybody, is fired up, and then now says that's it. That's my swan song with Green Bay, and I'm completely fine with it. Think about this too, guys. How much of the Tom Brady thing played into this? He got to see Tom Brady over in New England basically get tired of what the Patriots were doing, and then they decide to come over and say, all right, fine, we're not going to be able to go forward with you. And he goes, I'm going to go to Tampa Bay. Oh, and I'm going to win a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers looks at that, and you think there's not motivation? Because I'm telling you right now, he thinks he's just as good as Tom Brady. And I think pound for pound at this moment, he's better than Tom Brady in the league. He's more athletic and sharper with his passes, and has more upside. Now, I know Tom Brady is fantastic, and we know that. I'm not saying all time. I'm saying at this moment. So he looked at that and thought, I can do the same thing. Why not? I go to Denver right now, or wherever. There were reports that he might go to Denver as early as this weekend. Now, we'll see if that ever does happen. I could go to Denver. I could go yesterday to New England. Now, that didn't happen. Obviously, they got a QB, but Denver didn't. Carolina is still a potential landing spot. But I really do think that the Tom Brady stuff played into this, or he saw, what, if he can do it, I certainly can too. The Packers, if he were to actually retire, at this point, they'd be like, see ya. But at the same time, you have to understand, what should we believe? Because they're like, no, we're going to extend him. Like, we're going to offer him an extension, even though the talks broke down. We're going to come back and offer him more money. Or they came back and they were like, hey, we have no interest again in trading him. Like, he's not going to be moved. But then they come out and say what they did last night, where they're like, you know what, thinking back on it, we probably should have talked more. I'm really supposed to believe that you guys are that dumb and that was intentional in Green Bay? Because I just don't.